How's it going, Facebook? This is Jose Trujillo once again. Bam! Coming to you from the art studio. Okay, so I want to show you this. My wife got this flowers, and they're dying, right? I think one of her girlfriends brought them home. Anyways, they're almost goners, right? This roses. So as a good artist, I'm going to immortalize them. So you're gonna see what is going to happen now. I hope that I make any sense. Sorry about the shakiness. I am doing this with my super awesome fantastic phone camera. So bear with me, guys, because I am about to immortalize this baby right here. So let's do it. Well, I got my Starbucks just in case, in case we need it. Starbucks happening, yeah. All right, here we go. So these are dying roses. Why? Because it's a good reminder. It's a good, those of you who are into esoteric philosophy, and those of you who are not, it's the same. It's okay. It's the same thing in every tradition, every religion, every teaching, to put it that way, teaches us that we are just passing by, right? As flesh, we are just passing by. And when I see these flowers, automatically I can't help but to notice that it's we're here for a little bit. It's just a little ride. It feels long at times, but it's a little ride. Nevertheless, as I like to say, nevertheless. So there is my preliminary drawing, and then I'm going to take out the I'm going to go after the greens. Why the greens? It just, I don't know. Sometimes I start that way, guys. Sometimes I do what I want. I have no system that I rehearsed. I think I've tried so many different stuff that I play it by feeling. And not feeling as in how do I feel, but gut feeling more than how I mentally feel. I think a lot of times we tend to confuse that. Like, well, how are you feeling mentally? No. Not mentally. Instinct. I think that's more important, to understand the instinct when you're painting, to develop that, whatever we practice enough in order to get a taste of instinct. So something like that. And then, of course, when you're painting in glass, right? The glass is a very interesting object. It's a very interesting object. I remember reading about how they I don't know what is the city in Italy that they used to create the glass, but they used to, I guess, hire people in order to keep in line, the glass makers in line, so that they wouldn't go and share the secrets elsewhere. I thought that was pretty cool. In line meaning that that they, I guess they got put in jail or executed sometimes if they left the island. Glass is a very interesting object. It's always been interesting. It's always fascinated me. I think it's fascinated everyone, of course, right? But it's just something about it. It's almost like it's repeating life itself. It's telling you something that it's it's, of course, it's reflection, but it's so many things. It's a lens. It's this. It's that. I think I was talking about mirrors. But anyways, you guys understand what I'm talking about. Now that I remember right, I think I was talking about mirrors. It's the same. Glass mirrors. All right. It gets when they're about to die, to put it that way, the flowers. They pretty much mimic human beings and all other creation. What something was bloomed and looked very vibrant. I know I'm sounding like Edgar Allan Poe. I'm becoming extreme. I don't mean to be negative. This is not negative at all, guys. Okay. It's just a reflection of. That's one of the reasons I loved also Caravaggio, because Caravaggio was a fan of painting that state, not quite corpse, but that state that it's ready to pass. It's almost there. The fruits are not really. His still lifes, the fruits are not really dead, to put it that way, no, but they're close. They're close to it. And in his paintings of saints and whatnot, we know that there's a lot of talk that he used people from the streets, beggars, prostitutes, and just to show something that is, I think, I don't know, that's what I get, how it's perspective, something that seemingly looks like it's bad. If you give it enough light, you transcend. It can transcend to something else special, not necessarily by a sense of magic, but you transcend the judgment, and therefore you're able to say, oh look, there's Christ, not a beggar, or there's Mary Magdalene, or Mary, whoever he painted. There is. It wasn't that beggar from the street, or it wasn't that prostitute, from the local bar. cantina. I don't know what they call them back then. And I'm from Mexico, guys. I was born in Mexico, so I'm thinking about what would you call it, a cantina? So this is it's quite a treat to paint glass. I've always enjoyed it. I take, of course, in all my painting, right, but especially in this type of painting, I take Edouard Manet's advice of painting quick. You capture something else. And it's not to say that if you don't paint slow, you don't, but you go beyond the thinking realm. This is one of the things that I like about painting like this. You surpass your thinking because the mind wants to hold on and say, wait a minute, where's that light? But as soon as you move, unless you take a photograph, and even then, as soon as you move a little bit, you blink, anything, you see something you didn't see before. I always think that when we paint artists, it's a bit of a mystery because who really knows what the hell you're seeing? And not you, but everybody. Like really what we're seeing, what we're, because when we see painting, we're like, oh yeah, there it is. But I think many times we get stuck on the form. But who really knows what we're perceiving? What we're really seeing when we're looking at something. What are you really seeing? Is it really that, or is it just some idea? Not to get all philosophical here, but I think it's worth investigating. One of the things that I like to do, and I didn't learn this till later. I used to do it when I was a kid. I just didn't know what it was. Is stare at something till it becomes blurry. Just stare until it starts dancing. When you stare at something enough, of course you have to stop thinking. Because otherwise you're not really looking at it. You're looking, but you're not seeing, or you're watching, but you're not seeing. When you stare at something enough until it becomes blurry, until it seems like your eyes are getting tired, but really the object starts dancing, to put it in those words. You sort of sense an aliveness in the object. It doesn't matter whether it's a still life or something that is dead, right, or something that is alive, like a plant, a flower, a tree, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's easier to do it in something that is alive, because I feel like it's easier to find joy in that activity. But you can do it something that it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's a table or when it starts. I call it vibrating. But I'm not trying to get all metaphysical here with you guys. I'm just using words. I don't know what's happening. I have no idea. I just assume that the eyes get focused, that you become a bit more abstract. And I think that when you become more abstract, and I'm not talking about stylistic, like in the sense of painting or whatever, but you become more direct. You become more direct. There's sort of a certain it becomes more true to a certain extent. That's what I've experienced, anyways, when I create my artwork. In that place, in the place of pure attention, things tend to become more foggy but true. Foggy to the eye, but more true to the feeling. I feel I feel the flowers, to put it that way. I feel what that feels like. I can understand what that feels like. It's no longer a distant thing happening between me and the canvas or the object. It's something that I recognize. That which is in the flowers, that which is there, it's also here. Otherwise, I couldn't recognize it. It's also in me. It's also in you. Who knows what it is? Maybe it's life itself. Who knows? But that's how we are able to feel whatever we feel. You know, when we're in front of it. Or something like that, you guys. I'm going to switch over to a different brush just to create the background. I used to start with the background, but I find it more and more every time, every more and more to start from the foreground. I don't mind starting from whatever, from background, foreground, doesn't matter. But lately I've been understanding a bit more in how I work, and starting from the foreground gives me a chance also to cut. You see, this is cutting, and this is a very nifty thing to do because you're sort of drawing, so it allows you to paint without paying attention to lines, and it allows you to paint. So here, if I would have started from the back, I would have been very careful in creating the outlines of the leaves and whatnot. But because I started first with the front, I'm able to cut. This is cutting. I'm able to cut this, and it gives me a different sense of awesomeness. We're gonna call everything I do awesomeness, okay? And everything you do is also awesomeness. Guys, this is Jose Trujillo. I am one hell of an artist. If I don't say it, before I go on my what I call it, high horse. Let me finish here. I am super awesome. You are super awesome too. Don't let anyone tell you that you're not super awesome. They are lying to you. Nobody is allowed to deflate the awesomeness that we all have. Nobody has permission to do that. In the greater scheme of things, no one has authority to cut off your awesomeness. You are the most awesomeness, and so am I. We just gotta start recognizing it and getting that bull by the horns. This is Jose Trujillo. Just wanted to show you. I just painted this cool awesomeness. It was going to die. So, oh, sorry. Sorry about the shakiness, guys. There you go. I know, it's not happy for the eyes, but just look away when I'm doing that. There you go. There you go. Bam. Why not? If we can, we can. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.